Hey, hey, it's the Funky Bunnies. Welcome to our show. We hop about and it may get loud as we carry on a rabbit show.
Bun bun? Hoppity hoppity?
Yes,
That kind
yes,
of rabbit?
precisely. Yeah, and on our first episode of the Funky Bunny podcast, we're going to be talking about
Pan from
carrots.
Fire Emblem Awakening.
Also, that, yes, yes. What? Welcome, and let's hop along though first to Super Cast Brothers, this
Oh, okay.
this other podcast. Yeah, we'll get into the whole rabbit situation later, maybe later on in this broadcast,
I
or
mean,
probably not.
Fire Emblem Heroes has bunny alts of Camilla and Lucina.
Interesting. Where's the bunny out of Alois?
Not in the game.
Oh well,
Yet.
isn't that a shame?
There's
But
also bunny art of Bartray.
day.
Yep,
Okay then.
it
Nice,
exists!
nice.
I'll show you the picture after this podcast, because holy boy. Whew.
Is it better than the reindeer Yoshi from Mario Kart Tour?
Yes.
Okay, so long as it's better
The
than
game
that.
also has Lawrence and Speedo. A
I
sight I
know.
wish I could unsee.
Well, a lot of people's dreams are being made with that, I guess, like Jake from our previous episode. So at least there's that. Nonetheless, this is Super Cast Brothers. I'm Jonno, Jonathan, Jojo, other names, etc. And that guy is
And I'm
a man who
Zantok,
I've
who was questioning many of his life's choices today.
yeah, like how we've been recording for very nearly a year at this point.
We're getting there. The next three episodes after this one will be celebrating our 1 year of select. Fuck. What is this show? Fuck. I'm getting I'm getting my Let's Play channel with this podcast
Wow,
confused.
we're getting older.
Shit. I was going to say like
Super Cast Brothers.
Superstar. I was like, that's not right. Select cast. Wait. Hold up. No. Oh shit.
Super Mario Odyssey.
Sure. What about Super Mario Valhalla?
Yeah, that's
Holy
well,
bagolies.
that would be a sight to see. Oh man.
This is not a great start, but let's roll with it.
Okay, let's roll with it. We're gonna get smashing and dashing as we have several good old times over thus far in our year-long escapades.
Woot.
Um, so there's two matchups, as is the norm, but what's not the norm are who are in these two matchups where
Yeah,
we smash
these
and
are
dash.
some interesting choices that we've made here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So first up, we're going to be talking about two very obscure first party choices. One of whom is more a forgotten character from a forgotten franchise, but still an interesting retro choice, and the other being from just more of a niche series
Very
for
niche.
Nintendo. That's been
Very.
prevalent on DS, 3DS, but still none, and also had a great bop in Ultimate. So
A couple,
there's that.
actually.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So that's gonna be, you may have guessed it, probably not.
Probably not.
F-Type versus Savvy Stylist.
What the fuck is an F-Type?
Whoa, it doesn't stand for fuck type. Anyway, before Mario Kart, there was F-Type, a one-off Famicom NES title
Oh,
about racing F-Type racers.
I'm gonna have to
F-Type,
hold on.
yeah,
F-Type isn't the
yeah,
name of the game.
no.
It's
Oh,
Stunt Race FX,
Stunt Race Effects. That's right. That's right.
and there's
I wrote it
multiple
down
different
wrong.
cars.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But we're just getting this show off to a good start. That's just the whole point.
We're
Yeah,
already a
I wrote it.
cluster.
I wrote it down in my notes wrong. Yeah, Stunt Race Effects. F-Type is the, I guess, standard racer in that game,
It pretty much
and
has like the biggest focus
yeah,
on the box art.
it's one of the cover cars. It's like the Blue Falcon of Stunt Race
Yeah,
Effects,
it's like a
essentially.
Formula One racer or something.
Right. But unlike other Formula One racers, but like most of the other Stunt Race Effects racers, F-Type is a sentient vehicle. It is alive.
It has eyes.
Uh,
Kind of like the
yeah,
Cars
so it's
movies, except hopefully not as shitty.
yeah, it's like, Herbie, Knight Rider, Cars, but F-Type. And so there's a bit of Mario slapped in there on the cover for good measure, and it's a car that's alive, and it could be playable in Smash Brothers.
It would be strange.
Huzzah! Yes, it would. But can you tell me a bit about a savvy stylist?
Sure. So F-Type's opponent here is technically it's an avatar character, technically speaking, if you want to think about it that way. Because I don't know if it's the same way in all the Style Savvy games. Because yes, it's a character from Style Savvy, which is a fashion game. Yes, I'm aware. This sounds really weird. You know what else sounds weird? Wii Fit Trainer.
Yep.
I rest my case. But
Hmm.
I've only played one of these Style Savvy games, and I only played it for this episode. I bought the game just so I could play a little bit of it to kind of get an idea for how it works. Um, in the one I played, which was Styling Star, I think it was Styling Star, but whatever the most recent one is, you start off as you're moving into this new city. Your uncle lives there. Your uncle has a boutique that he owns, but he's ready to see new places in the world. He wants to go traveling. Apparently, he wasn't very good at the job, and he leaves it in your
Hmm.
hands because who's more capable than a 20-year-old fashion or a kid that likes fashion? Nobody's more nobody's more qualified, I guess. Kind of
Nope.
weird, but okay, dude. Whatever. His name is Tim, and he's a weirdo.
As
So
most men named.
yeah, so your character now owns this boutique, and you're helping out all these people that are coming in. They want to get new outfits. They want to buy a certain handbag that like has a certain style to it, or they want to get a red shirt, or they need a fancy dress to go to a party. And you go through your inventory. You try and help them out. It's pretty much the game. I don't know if the other self-savvy games have like an actual dedicated character with a design and name to them that you have to play as, but I know in this one, you get to pick between hair color, styles, your outfits, give them your own name. This was really just an avatar in this game. So I feel like they would just go with the name Savvy Stylist, or they even do Styling Star as a name, which is a possibility, or Style Girl.
Right, right. There was a prototype name when we first began talking about the potential for this character a couple years ago, and I think it was like what, Style Savist or something like that.
Yeah, that was the first name I tried to describe them with, and it was not a good name.
No, but all the other names you presented were, and we're gonna go with Savvy Stylist for this matchup.
I mean, it's a nice play on the name of the game of Style Savvy. So,
Yeah, and it works. It's like We Fit Trainer, but with a little more panache.
yeah.
Sweet. So that's our first matchup, and I guess that we're gonna just get down and dirty into the details of these two characters that are very unique.
Lacking in details.
Also lacking in details. Yeah, that's right.
It's pretty
Because
much we have a sentient car that races. There's no power ups in the game, and there's no like characters and personality. And then we have an avatar fashion kit that sells clothes.
let's try and make this a good discussion without padding it. Which seems like it may be difficult at first glance,
Padding is in
but
clothing.
luckily, yeah. Let's. Too bad we didn't have video on this podcast because we could get fashionable while talking about her.
Oh damn, missed opportunity.
Yep, maybe one of these days.
Maybe.
Maybe one of these days. And then I could record this podcast in my car too, which is very safe to represent F-Type.
Oh please don't.
Okay, okay. So F-Type, it's a one-off character from a one-off game, and as you said, there's not a whole lot to it. Like unlike Mario Kart or F-Zero or what have you, Crash Team Racing, whatever. There's no items, there's no power sliding or boost gauges or whatever to speak of. So you're really dealing with a fairly standard overhead racer. So when getting into Smash, you would have to be a little more liberal with it because it's weird enough to have a playable car, sure, but you want to make that playable car interesting beyond just it having eyes like a Chevron mascot.
Right.
Um,
The
so
the thing I've always
yeah,
kind of thought of for how F-Type or like any other car could work, some of those really old cartoons, where they like pretty much everything had a face, like the
yeah,
old Disney type of stuff, Mickey Mouse, whatnot. The cars that like they could kind of get up on like their back wheels and they could kind of use like their front tires sort of as arms, when like they could punch forward a bit. That's kind of how I've always imagined F-Type could. That's where the image first got in my mind is this car that has a face on it, backing up on its back wheels, like their legs, and punching with its wheels. That's where the image first came up. I was like, oh my god, this is hilarious. Why can't this happen?
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So what you're presenting is it kind of humanizing a little bit further. So when you're say punching with this the standard A button, F type will get on its two hind wheels and punch forward with it with another wheel, or
Kinda, kinda, yeah. I mean, it wouldn't necessarily. It doesn't necessarily have to be like it's standard A. Like
Mhm.
it could be like a smash or something. I'm not really sure. But I also feel like there's a lot that you can do. Like we've discussed before, Mach Rider and what he could
Right,
do on the motorcycle, and a lot of what he could do on the motorcycle, F Type could do without the mounted machine gun. Obviously, that's not going to work too well. But there could be like spinning around, doing a 360 on the field, rushing forwards, an oil slick, uh,
right,
riding up on a ramp for like an up special. All that same stuff that could be done for a character like Mach Rider or the Excite Bikers, F Type could do as well.
right. Um, and apparently there is a mild boost mechanic in stunt race effects. So where like you would be able to hit say a ramp and then F type would jump up just a little bit and have the frame from the car kind of go a little higher than the wheels, kind of like an old animation again,
Mm-hmm.
like old school Disney type stuff or Looney Tunes type stuff.
Right.
So that could potentially be something along the lines of a
Like
up
leaning
special
hard
or
on cartoon physics, I think would work well in F Type's favor.
yeah. And F type almost looks like those old school cartoons you're talking about, just claymation.
Exactly.
Yeah. And having that aesthetic too of that claymation art style that they promoted the character in would also be a pretty decent plus. That would be a unique look.
Yes, it would.
Yeah, yeah. And then yeah, you're right. You can summon ramps, you can slide around, do different kinds of car. What would have probably been cool to think about a little more, but as we know, I'm ridiculous and never actually come into these things with a lot of forethought.
I mean,
Um,
we're Smash Dashers.
yeah,
We're not
yeah,
meant to come up with a full move set. We're just coming up with ideas,
yeah, yeah,
possibilities.
yeah. That's also true. Um, just look into different techniques that actual car drivers, like for F-Type is a Formula type vehicle. There's Formula One racing that it's based off of. Look into Formula One racing, see the kind of techniques that the drivers use, and apply those to the moveset of F-Type, the character.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So there's more than meets the eye with the character, and if you inject that cartooniness into F-Type, then you're really actually opening up quite a few possibilities. Um, the only thing that's difficult is presenting them because it's such a different character
Mm-hmm.
that wrapping your head around it is a
How it's
little
gonna
much.
work,
But
how the animations would be,
mhm.
visualizing how it would actually happen in game. That's the hard thing about F Type.
Right, right. But still, it's a way to represent racing in Nintendo's history without ever coming out of the vehicle
Yeah.
because the vehicle is the character.
I mean, what else are we gonna get?
So,
Mario Kart Mario?
hmm oh no, thank you, no, please, no.
No, you're right. It'll be Pink
Uh,
Gold Peach.
that would be more acceptable. Yeah, let's go for that.
No, it wouldn't. It'd be
I would like
worse.
to I would like to make another addendum, by the way, because Stunt Race FX was a Super Nintendo title, and I said it was a original Nintendo title.
Shame on
Whoops.
you. That is poor research on your part.
Yep.
Really, really, when you're coming to Star Wars FX, any of the characters from the game, I say characters loosely, could
Hmm.
work too. Like I'm pretty sure there's one that's like I think a semi truck is one of the playable characters as well. But
Hmm.
F Type we kind of just went with that because it's like the first one. It's the main one of the box art. But they're really all just interchangeable.
Yeah, I mean, like, could they potentially be a Bowser Jr. in the Koopaling situation then?
No, the body
No.
sizes are too different. No.
Yeah, yeah. I'm reading just like random trivia here. So apparently F-Type's top speed is 140 miles per hour, which is pretty fast.
Yeah.
So I guess it would be a pretty fast fighter, which is interesting
I
because
mean,
cars are
it's a
also
car.
generally heavy. Yeah,
I
yeah,
feel like if there was a playable car in Smash, it's probably gonna have a fast running speed. I say running,
yeah.
but we all know it's not running. But you get it.
It's driving.
Sure.
Uh, yeah, like unless it was the car from City Connection, that'd be pretty slow.
True.
Um, so it would be interesting. It could be you can say it could be a way to legitimize heavy characters if F-Type was a heavy class fighter
A
with
fast heavy with a
pretty
small
yeah.
hurt box, not small hurt box, but low. It's like a lot of the higher attacks are gonna miss.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So it
It'd
could
be
be
something new that you do. Probably terrible recovery though. Had to be a terrible recovery.
yeah, because there has to be a way to not make it OP,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's more competitively viable than say Little Mac,
Yeah.
and and just legitimizes heavy fighters in a competitive playing field too, because like facing it, there's so much input lag and slowness to a character like King K. Rool. We can be as hyped as we want about him, but if you're playing against a really good Smash player, you better show your mettle or you're just going to be destroyed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
Honestly,
that's cool.
what entices me the most about F Type is, and this goes similarly to the Savvy Stylist. There's practically nothing to work with. They have to
Mhm.
get creative, and sometimes when they have to get creative is when you get some really cool stuff.
Oh yeah, like Captain Falcon.
Yeah. Well,
Hmm.
technically, Captain
Oh
Falcon
yeah,
can't.
because he was the Dragon King.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but nonetheless, kind of, it's still an original move set.
Yeah.
Or like taking Fox out of the R wing.
Yeah. Smash was the first time that Fox actually fought outside of just shooting from his R wing. We later
Yeah.
got it in Star Fox Assault, but before then, no, never.
Hmm.
And we'd never seen Princess Peach fight until Melee.
Yep, that's
Something
also true.
completely brand new for her.
Hmm. Very
I was
true.
like, the Toad move kind of made sense. Pulling the vegetables out kind of made sense. Umbrella, okay, sure. The
Hmm.
side special, I don't know where that one came from. I don't know what the hell, but I love it. It's my favorite move.
Oh yeah, of course. There's that, and who can forget when Sakurai really stepped out there and took one for the team by giving Zero Suit Samus her high heels. That took
Yeah.
some real move set, and like cultural savant nature from him to really,
I mean,
be so innovative.
not every time they get creative is it a hit.
No, but like Duck Hunt and having the
The other light
character
games.
with the lightsaber, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that was
the
a really cool
yeah.
idea.
Hmm. So or Piranha Plant being pulled out of his ass and
That's a
being a
really good
viable
case
move set.
of extreme creativity. Yeah, it kind of
Yeah.
borrowed from some other different piranha plant species, but still really cool. Kind of surprised we didn't get a fireball attack with it, considering fire piranha plants are the very second kind of piranha plant ever were created. But
Hmm.
I guess
Yeah.
the Patui's spike ball is more creative for Smash.
Yeah. Yeah. It's an interesting move set, even though a lot of people, ourselves included, are not thrilled about the character.
Mm.
So yeah, there's that. So
Yeah,
there's a lot more instances that in Smash of that happening, and F-Type and Savvy Stylist, as you say, would fall into that echelon of creativity. They would
yeah.
have to be.
They
They would
really have
have
to
to be.
stretch their ideas and figure out, okay, how?
Right, right. Did you and since you played a lot of Style Savvy, I guess, or at least enough of it, do you want to take us into kind of the lead on potential ideas for this character?
Sure. So I only played the game. I think like 5 or 6 in-game days is all I played. I intended to get to the full week, but then I kind of got lost in doing other things. So I
Mm-hmm.
haven't played it a whole lot, but I got a couple hours in. The game really is just okay. Hey, look, this guy needs clothes. Cool. Do I have it in stock? Yes. Here, I'm going to suggest to you this. If I don't, I can go. I can tell them I'll get it, and then I'll go to like another store and I'll buy clothes and I'll sell the clothes back to this guy, which is kind of funny. There's other people that
Mm-hmm.
you can meet in the game: a bread salesman, an artist, a guy that's wanting to create like fashion or that's trying to start up a fashion model agency and whatnot. And I was
Mm-hmm.
really struggling trying to figure out how the Savvy Stylist could work in Smash as well, because it's a person that sells clothes. What can they
Right.
do? It's like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, they can whip a shirt out at somebody and smack them with a shirt. They can run by with a one of those rolling racks of clothes, the ones on wheels.
Oh
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like they could run
Mm-hmm.
forward with that. It's like, but what else can they do? There's got to be more than just a rack of clothes. And
Yeah.
I was really struggling with it, but I came up with something earlier today, and I thought, what if they have a item management system for a gimmick for them? Because
Interesting.
they are a store owner, they have to worry about their inventory, the stock of clothes they have. What if they kind of have a not necessarily a meter, but it's a meter like function where they can charge up not like say their down special or their extra skill is getting stock. And so they're in place. They're kind of like rummaging through a closet or whatnot. You can see them grabbing clothing, and there's like a little counter by their health bar that's like one clothes, two clothes, three clothes, whatever the hell. And the more you have, the more powerful some of your attacks are going to be, such as the rack of clothes. You're running with this rack of clothes, and if you got 50 clothes on it, you're going to deal more damage than if you only had 10. But after the move gets used and it runs into something, some of the clothes fly off, and you lose some of the clothes from your inventory. Or you could have an up special that's kind of similar to what Olimar's was in Brawl, where he had the Pikmin chain, only it's a
Mm-hmm.
chain of clothing that's all been tied together. Kind of like, the classic story of the kid that's trying to run away from home, so they tie all their blankets together and they throw the rope out the window. Kind of looking
Mm-hmm.
like that, but using that move will use up some of the clothes. And then you have
Nice.
to search for more clothes in your inventory to get more for some of those attacks. Not every attack would use them. Like if there's a standard A where you just whip out a shirt, that's not going to count against your clothes. But they could also do things like just poses. If Wii Fit Trainer can use yoga poses as attacks, then the Savvy Stylist can do like fashion runway poses or photography poses that models would strike. Anything like that, they could do as well for attacks. Why not?
Right. Right. Yeah, absolutely. And something that I had an idea for when you were just talking about these various other showcase potentials for the Savvy Stylus
Mm-hmm.
is maybe a fun aesthetic flair could be having a variety of outfits, although I'm not sure how that would work with the alternative costumes. It's just an idea. Like you use a taunt and then a portable dressing room thing like goes over the stylist and then they come out in a different outfit and say you can cycle between two or three.
Well, I was
Just
definitely thinking that the alt costumes would be different outfits that you would wear.
oh yeah, that too, for sure. Absolutely.
What those outfits would be,
Yeah.
other minds would have to figure out. But I know the game has like after shortly after you start, you can pretty much get like, okay, do you want this costume, or this costume, and you can just change into those easy.
Hmm.
So those are four super easy choices for an alt costume,
Right.
or the
Right.
standard
Nice.
like generic outfit for like each of the different styles in the game, like the girly style or the can't remember what the other styles were, but there's several different styles in the game represented by different in-game companies that they could just make outfits out of too.
Right. Right. And then it comes with a added bonus too. Where having a silly runway stage would be entertaining.
Yeah, and for a final smash, this one would have to be a cutscene one in the way I'm envisioning it, but it's it's makeover.
Ha!
They are getting whatever character it is, they are putting them through the dressing room. They're throwing all these clothes around. They're dressing them up, and each character could have their own unique dress up outfit in the final smash. So Bowser could have a different. Bowser might be in like a suit and tux, or Rob might have a dunce cap on him, or whatever.
Yoshi might have an egg that he's emerging from at all times.
He could. He could. Rosalina could be wearing a cocktail dress.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, there's some
Good old
good
Mario Kart
shit you
Tour.
can do there.
Mm-hmm. There is, and I mean,
It's very hard to make a full moveset for her or envision it, but the idea of playing as a character that just is a fashion star and sells clothes is, but similar to F-Type, hilarious.
oh yeah, and with all the different elements of fashion too, you can involve makeup, you can involve purses,
Mm-hmm.
shoes, all manner of clothing is basically what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So
Applying
that
makeup could
is,
be like a stat boost or something.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I mean, for F-Type, that's a little less entertaining of a final smash because I think if you go for like a something like immediately that you can think of along the lines of another cinematic, could just be something like Captain Falcon's with the Blue Falcon, except maybe F-Type brings along all of his friends from
Yeah.
Stunt Race Effects and just rams into somebody
And you could call
on
it
that.
Stunt Rally.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So there's that. There's that. So it's just two very different characters that bring extremely unique
Weird
elements to
shit.
Smash. Yeah, absolutely. And it's just a case of do you want the car one or the fashion one because
I
they're as
want
strange
both.
as each other.
I
So
really
do I.
want both.
So do I. And it just becomes and F-Type. We're getting to that point, where we're not necessarily scraping the bottom of the barrel, but we're gonna keep on getting into more obscure choices the further we go down into the retro landscape now.
Oh yeah.
So it's like you have F-Type. Who else do you have? There's Goku from Yuyuki. There's like Bubbles, I guess. And then
Takamaru,
so
technically.
yeah, yeah.
Napoleon from the Hanafuda cards. Mini
Also true.
Kangaroo, Diskun.
Hmm.
Yumi Tachibana, which apparently, hey, the Famicom Detective games are getting remade. That was a
Really?
shock. Yeah,
Nice.
so far it seems like it's going to be Japanese only, but still, they're getting remade. I was like, holy shit, what?
That would be a nice, easy crossover. Just toss her into Ultimate right now, and then localize the game.
Yeah, sure, let's go for it. I'm in.
Okay, okay. But
Rip Phoenix
but
Wright.
F-Type is at least. Oh yeah, yeah. But F-Type is at least up there in terms of entertainment factor, and that accounts for a lot because I think if we were going for just the most recognizable retro characters, we probably would have gotten Pit or Little Mac before Ice Climbers.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, yeah. So F-Type is still well regarded, and Savvy Stylist too fits into kind of this mold that I feel is underrepresented so far with the modern hardware of getting into these smaller titles that are more of a cult fan base. But like you have Wii Fit and you have a couple others, but it's more unexplored. So like there's no Rhythm Heaven, for instance.
Right.
Um, but Style Savvy kind of fills a similar niche. So that would be cool too.
Yeah, I mean, if Wii Fit
It's
Trainer can get in Smash, so can the girl from Style Savvy. Come on.
oh, absolutely, absolutely. Um, so it's just a case of which one you want more because I think these are both characters we would both want
Yeah.
to an inordinate amount of hype for what they are.
Hmm. Like,
But
would I want either of these over a character that I love, like Gino or Waluigi or Rex and Pyra or Porky Minch? No, but I still want
mhm.
them. There's a
Oh,
lot of
absolutely.
characters that I want. It's just
Hmm.
when you have to compare them into a list, it's hard.
Yeah, yeah. Like where does Smeargle fit into the whole equation? It's somewhere around there.
Eh,
Anywho, it's above Robo Squidward anyway.
yeah,
Yeah. Fourth
that's a
parties,
big yeah.
Smash. Who knows if they will ever get in?
Should fourth parties be in Smash?
I don't know. I
What fourth
mean,
parties could be in Smash?
I have no clue. I mean, it could be freaking Dragon Ball Z for all you know.
I mean,
That's
that's
what
the one
people have been
everybody was
hyping
hype
about
over.
for a long time.
I see people hype that. I see people hype Shrek and SpongeBob and Cory in the House and Home Depot. It's like, why?
I know. I know. And we were going to talk about fourth parties for a while ago, and then that got surmounted by Min
Arms.
Min's release and Spirits and Smash. But
Yeah.
we yeah, there's some discussion to be had there at some point.
Of course.
I
Maybe soon.
wonder what it might be.
I,
But in the meantime, F-Type and Savvy Stylist. Huh.
I have a
I
lean.
as do
I
I.
have a pretty strong lean actually. Like as much as I love both of these ideas, there's one that I think I would like to see in more.
Hmm.
And but both of them would just be the sheer hilariousness, sheer ridiculousness. But I think there's one that would just like I would die if this happened. Cause please
Yeah.
make it
Yeah,
occur.
you and I more than likely are on the same page here. Um, so just blurt it out. Savvy Stylist.
Savvy Stylist, absolutely.
Hmm.
God, that'd be funny as hell. It's like, all right, so
Hmm.
who are you gonna play? I'm gonna play Ridley. He's big and strong. It's like, cool. I'm gonna play as a Savvy Stylist. What? Yeah, that's right. Uh huh. It's kind of like Isabel now, but I
Hmm.
mean, we've already seen Isabel and Isabel domination. Now it's time for a
Oh yeah.
stylist, a girl
Yeah.
that has a fashion shop. Bring it, please. I want it so bad.
Let's make it happen.
Please, can we? Next Meshtopia, Savvy Stylist.
One of these days. Okay. Okay, maybe that'll be the case, huh?
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. But in the meantime, so Savvy Stylist moves on. Good for her.
Yep.
You go, girl. But now, if you thought that F-Type and Savvy Stylist were a bit,
Out there.
off the cuff and strange, yeah, speaking of fourth parties, we're gonna go into fourth parties now.
If you couldn't tell from the title of the episode,
If you couldn't tell from the title of the episode, which was previously censored until this exact moment. You can look at your screen now and know what it is.
yes.
It's Goku versus Spider-Man.
And everybody goes, "What? What are you
Yeah.
doing?"
Yeah, Goku from Yuyuki versus Spider-Man from the eponymous 8-bit cult classic The Spider-Man, where you play as a spider delivering newspapers.
You know, I'm okay with one of those. The other one, not so much.
Okay, okay. How about Goku from Dragon Ball Z versus Spider-Man, from Marvel, Stanley's baby.
Now, to clarify, we're saying Goku from Dragon Ball Z, and we know that Dragon Ball was first. But when we're discussing Goku, we're not talking about Kid Goku, as he was in regular Dragon Ball, but his adult self in DBZ. So that's why we're saying
Right,
DBZ there. In
right.
case, before anybody starts getting angry, we know Dragon Ball is first. We get it.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not
Mm-hmm.
talking about Kid Goku.
Mm-hmm.
So these are two characters that Goku gets talked about a lot as far as fourth party reps in Smash, and people are just like, "We want Goku." It's like, well, we were not getting animated Smash, but we want Goku. Oh my God, shut up! But
Mm-hmm.
he's here in this discussion. We're going to be discussing him as well. He's got crazy popularity. Dragon Ball popularity, I don't think has ever really stopped. And the next thing we've got Spider Man, who some people might say isn't the best opponent for Goku. Some might say Iron Man or Superman or Home Depot. But we wanted to do Spider Man. We just thought he'd be more fun to talk about, and he's insanely popular. He's pretty much Marvel's top superhero, the most popular of all of them. So I kind of figured that's a good one to go with there. So why don't you
Right.
give us our primer on Goku?
Okay. Yeah. Just for some additional just specs on this. It's just a portion of, or rather, how we're taking it is in terms of iconicity. You're saying. So since Spider-Man is essentially the face of Marvel, and Goku is essentially the face of Shonen Jump, and both of those characters are evergreen and they've never faded in popularity, because different Shonen Jump manga and anime come around all the time, but they're more flavor of the week compared to the nature of Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z, for instance.
Yeah,
So where Goku and Spider-Man don't meet in terms of powers, they do meet in terms of their
Legacy.
popularity and legacy. Right. So, like Goku, in terms of iconicity, is very much the East Spider-Man. He broke Shonen Jump and Shonen anime in general into mainstream culture by crook or by hook, or in this case, like his Super Saiyan apps. So a number of years ago at this point, um, he's been a part of our culture pretty much as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
And there's a variety of powers at his disposal given his abilities as a Saiyan, who are superpowered beings from another world. You've got your energy beams and your energy balls, flight, hefty martial arts on your side with Goku. He's just an all-around incredible fighter. And yeah, one that Smash fans have been vying for ages, despite the fact that he does not originate from a video game. And I think that comes from the fact that his video games have been, Dragon Ball video games are pretty decently high quality most of the time.
Yeah, they've got pretty good fighting
Um,
games.
yeah, like Namco Bandai uh, also develops a lot of those games too. So some people argue, hey, they're developing Smash. It might be easier to just break the mold just a tiny bit easier. It's like, yeah, potentially. The fourth party situation, being a term that we've coined as Smash fans in our community to kind of differentiate third parties from video game franchises and third parties from everything else,
Yeah.
is a subject of hefty debate. And luckily, that's not what we're here to really talk about these characters for. It's just a what if scenario. Because if we were, and one day we will, that's going to be quite the discussion in itself.
Yeah, yeah, I think it would be. Oh,
Yeah.
God, it
Give
would be
us a
heavy.
little. Yeah, it would. It would. Uh, Heavier than King K. Rool riding on an F-Type. Also,
Why?
because the visual is interesting. Um, can you give us a little primer on Spider-Man then?
Sure. So, as any Marvel fan knows, or if you've watched any of the what is it now, 9 Spider-Man movies, with a 10th one on the way, hopefully sometime soon. High school kid goes on a school fair or science lab, whatever. Hey, look, there's a spider. Oh God, it bit me. Couple days later, hey, I'm sticking to walls. This is
hmm
weird. I'm climbing the wall. This is strange. I can
hmm
sense things that are about to happen. I can shoot web. Oh wait, no, I can't. That was just in the Sam Raimi movies where they made it so like, oh, it's part of your power. No, he invented the web fluid. Thank you very much, Tobey Maguire, so that he could swing on the web through the city or trap people up in it and do all kinds of crazy tricks. He's one of the biggest wisecracking superheroes of all time, and a lot of times he does crossovers and he punches first and thinks later. It's like, hey, I fight all these other kinds of crazy people. Why not you too? I guess he's one of the most
hmm
popular superheroes of all time. I mean, obviously Batman is probably his biggest rival for that. Superman probably as well, but Batman's about Superman. We all know that.
Yeah.
In terms of general popularity, I'm not going to get into the Batman versus Superman debate, but general population, Batman is more popular. If you say the other way, you're wrong, flat out. Anyways, uh, I would say overall he has less necessarily powers than Goku. I mean, Goku's got all kinds of different blasting energy moves. I can't remember all of them off the top of my head, but like Kaioken, Spirit Bomb, Instant Transmission is his teleport essentially. But Spider-Man essentially
Right.
shoots
Right.
webs and swings on webs, and these different gadgets that he can invent, like little spider drones that can fly about and shoot people. Not really like bullets, but they can shoot. He can electrify his webbing, set it up so that it explodes out into like a web grenade that covers everything in its little area. He's a lot more tricksy like that. Well, Goku is, hey, I got all these fucking different energy attacks. Spider-Man's like, cool, I can shoot web, and I'm crazy smart with inventions. What's up?
Right. 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 Where Goku isn't necessarily that smart,
He is
but
not
he
smart at all. He has no smarts. He is the dumbest character in the entire franchise, probably. I haven't watched
but he's
all the episodes, so I don't know all the characters. I've watched enough. I've seen
right.
At least most of all of the arcs of DBZ.
Oh, got it. Got it.
Not like every
Cool.
episode, but I've seen like the majority of each of those arcs.
Right. And he's considering he literally started his entire legacy by slamming his head into the ground. I guess you got to cut the guy some slack a little bit.
He died and came back. Spoilers.
So yeah, yeah, he's basically he's like anime Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
like cross. No, actually, Superman is already
Superman is
comic
comic
Jesus.
book
So he's
Jesus, so
yeah,
and
yeah,
Superman and
yeah.
Goku are compared because they have a very similar backstory of oh no, planet being blowed up, must send
Mm-hmm.
child in a pod to Earth. Child grows
Mm-hmm.
up with funky powers. Superman and Goku are the same character. Like, come on.
Pretty, pretty much. Pretty much. It's kind of like the whole Lion King debacle where the Lion King was basically ripped off of the will of who was the creator of Astro Boy, Tezuka, for a previous rendition of that same storyline. It's like that, but the opposite, because in this case, it's the anime that came after Superman,
Right.
or the
And it's not
manga
like
rather.
DC and Marvel haven't stolen off of each other 100 times.
Right, right. They have Captain Marvel. Anybody?
Oh, that's a complicated little discussion. I'm not going to get into that right now. Oh boy.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But you know, we're Shonen Jump obviously has a ton of shonen manga that fall into the battle manga or battle anime kind of thing like Dragon Ball does. You have Naruto, you have One Piece, One Punch Man, Fairy Tail, all of these
Yu-Gi-Oh!
different franchises. Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh too. Basically, it's just that most of the fighting's done by card monsters, but it still counts.
It's still fighting.
Yeah, exactly. Um, but Dragon Ball basically originated all, so that's
Yeah.
kind of I think that's where the
It's
precedence
the
comes from.
anime.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Um, so yeah, Goku, like you're saying, there's some moves that seem very essential, like Spirit Bomb is an obvious Final Smash. Kamehameha is an obvious standard, I guess.
Oh shit, that's the. Oh, I was trying to think of that one. I couldn't think of the name. Yeah, Kamehameha would definitely be the standard special. I think there's definitely a few different options for Final Smash, but
Hmm.
whatever move he uses for it, he's definitely going Super Saiyan for that move, like
Oh,
100%,
absolutely,
100%.
absolutely. Hmm.
Instant
How would we?
transmission is an obvious special. Anything else would be crazy to even consider.
Hmm.
Side, I don't know. I don't know about side or down.
I'm not sure either. I'm looking at a few moveset ideas right now. I'm just like staring at DeviantArt, and
Mm,
there's like this thing by a guy, by someone named That Guy Immortal, but with one M for
all
reference.
right.
Uh, the side special that he wrote down was Invisible Strike or Destructo Disc.
Destructive Dex is kind of what I was thinking.
Right, right. Invisible Strike seems kind of weird only because it's an invisible energy blast. So how do you even know where it is?
Exactly. I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah, Destructo Disc. That's you create the Destructo Disc in his hand and just angle it up or down,
Yeah. I
and
don't.
it can it can shield break. Apparently, is what he wrote down. It's like okay,
If I remember correctly, he doesn't actually use Destructive Disc that much. I think it's more of a Krillin thing. Which, I mean, hey,
interesting.
Smash is no stranger to stealing moves from other characters. Hi, Ness. Hi, Lucas. Hi, Zelda.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Very true. Very true. How would we go about say it doesn't need to, but obviously in Dragon Ball fighting games,
Mm hmm.
it's an easy precedent to have a lot of the characters fly.
Yeah.
Is that totally off the table in Smash?
I mean, we did give Ribbon free flight for her Smashtopia. Or not Ribbon, but Adeline and Ribbon got free flight for their up special in our Smashtopia episode.
Right,
So they
right,
could do that with Goku, but I feel like it would either be doing that or it will be instant transmission. I don't think you're going to get both.
right.
We lost the glide mechanic for a reason.
Also true.
They could also
Maybe you
do the
can.
Nimbus Cloud. That's another possibility as well.
That's also true. That's also true, and that could be a little bit of a free flight for an up special. That's true. Another way they can get around it potentially is make a third jump for Goku, and the third jump is similar to Peach's second jump.
Where the with the hover?
Yeah,
Yeah, I could see that.
yeah,
Having a third jump for Goku would make sense.
yeah. But yeah. So there's all of that, and I don't really know where else to go with Goku. He's just for standards and smashes. I would just assume that he's going to be hitting you hard.
Oh yeah, I mean he's got some. He has his particular fighting style. I don't know what it's based off of, but I know he has something. I don't have like the information in front of me on either of these two characters because there's a lot to each of them, and that would be a
Oh yeah.
huge thing to go through. But suffice to
Hmm.
say, Goku has more than enough moveset potential if he was to ever somehow break the barrier and get into Smash. There's no denying that.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And
Um. Um.
I don't think they would do a Bowser Jr. Scenario either, where he's gets replaced by other characters for his ults, like Piccolo or Yamcha or whoever else. I don't think that's going to happen. But I could see potentially different versions of his Super Saiyan form could be alts.
Oh yeah.
But simply speaking, they
Absolutely.
probably just. I'm assuming that most likely it will just be like his standard training, his orange outfit, and just all colors based on that. Maybe something where he's wearing a Saiyan armor, like what Vegeta wears. Maybe,
Mhm.
but I think that'd be a stretch.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. But suffice to say, there's more than enough to work with from that angle as well.
Absolutely.
Essentially. Yeah. Spider-Man. Speaking of things that there's a lot to work with there's another character where you're approaching it from a different angle, since he's a very technologically capable character.
Hmm.
So you have Goku, who's gonna be a very forward moving character by comparison, where you know what you're gonna get. You're gonna get the energy attacks. You're gonna get heavy hitting attacks, and that's not to discount him at all. That's just the kind of fighter he is. A very strong archetype. And then you have Spider-Man, who has to get more inventive and acrobatic because he does not have that sheer power.
Right. Where
Yeah.
Goku is a martial artist with beams, Spider-Man is an acrobat scientist essentially.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
Alts wise, I mean, there's a crap ton of different costumes that Spider-Man is one that they can be easily alts. Obviously, you have to have the Black Spider-Man outfit from when he
Hmm.
had the symbiote. You have to have that. You could even have Miles Morales' outfit if you really want to get something in there, or one of his stealth suits, or the Future Foundation suit, which is a bit of an eyesore.
Yeah. You can
Uh,
have the Spider-Man 3 emo dance as a taunt.
yes, you could. I don't think I want it, but you could. You definitely could. That is a
Yeah.
true fact.
Yep. Yep.
But as for his attacks, I kind of feel like if Goku can get a third jump, so can Spider Man. That fits for both of them. Spider Man could also easily
Sure.
have wall cling or wall jumping. Attacks, though, I feel like regular attack is just going to be like standard web shooters. You can tap it several times to shoot a whole bunch of them. Side special, I kind of think it would be funny if it's just like a web swing. Just he shoots out a string that just kind of appears out in front of him. He just swings forward and kicks, kind of like one of his aerial moves in the Marvel vs. Capcom games. Simple enough.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It would be great for forward momentum. Great for it, and you could chain it together pretty well too. But not infinite,
Hmm.
because otherwise you'd be able to recover from the stage no matter what from the side. Up special is a bit harder, but I kind of think it'll just be like a super jump. I mean,
So like he just revs up a little bit and jumps into the air.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, I don't really think there's a whole lot that he can do with that. I mean, you could do a tether shooting web up, but that I'm so sick of tether recoveries. I'm so sick of them. There's too many DLC
Yeah.
characters that have
Yeah.
tether recoveries. Come on, come on. I'm done with those.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just a basic super jump. I mean, he in the PS4 Spider-Man, one of the abilities that you can unlock is essentially a super jump where you can charge it up, it jumps up super high, and now you can start swinging instead of just having to do like climbing up ability and then jump and then swing. So it works.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So it works within video game canon too.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
And then one or two
Yeah.
of his gadgets could be either for like a down special or an extra skill. Spider drones could work, but I think a web bomb would be pretty nice. Because be like, okay,
Hmm.
I can shoot this off, and then it's going to give it a couple seconds, and then it blows webbing out in this one area, and it can trap up anybody that's there. That's
That's
pretty
pretty
cool.
cool. Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't do any like his electrified webbing or not, because, that's more of a Miles thing. But it's
Right.
possible.
Hmm. So we are talking Peter here.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Peter Parker, Spider Man.
Okay. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, there could be an alt where he's wearing Miles' suit, but it's still the name is Spider Man.
Right. Right.
We're not combining Spider Man and Spider Gwen and Spider Man Noir and Spider Pit. We're not combining all that in one. No, that's ridiculous.
Spider
Fuck
Pig.
that.
um, yeah, for our final smash, I have a very defined idea, actually, for
Okay,
Spider-Man.
sure.
So what you mentioned the Spider-Man game on PS4.
Yep.
Um, so there's a very celebrated portion of the levels in those games. So what if Spider-Man just drags you into a stealth portion of Spider-Man on
No.
PS4? And then then
No.
all of the characters just like self-efface themselves and knock themselves out, so
No.
they don't have to deal with
No stealth. No stealth. No Mary Jane segments in the game. No. I refuse.
it. Real talk though, it could be just rip Maximum Spider from Marvel vs. Capcom 3 or something.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's the obvious choice.
Hmm.
Hell, the Nick, I mean, Greninja has a Final Smash that's very similar to that. And when people saw his Final Smash, nobody called it what was actually called. I don't even remember what it's actually called, but pretty much everybody was saying like, "Oh my God, it's Maximum Greninja." Because
Yeah.
one of Spider-Man, I think it's his level 3 super move in Marvel's Capcom is it's the Greninja Final Smash. It's literally that. He hits somebody and then he comes at them from all angles, coming off the screen, and just punches them or
Hmm.
kicks them repeatedly.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
same move. So they could easily do that. I mean, it'd be a little bit cheap to have the exact same thing as Greninja, but they could just change Greninjas. Done.
Yeah, they could.
Or maybe
They
Greninja's not
could.
in this Smash game. Who knows?
Right.
Spider-Man
That's
replaced
also.
Greninja.
There's an easy way around it.
Yeah.
Um,
I
gosh.
honestly don't know what else Final Smash you would do unless they do like, oh, huh. All right, so here's just a quick thought I'm gonna throw at you. I'm trying to remember the name of the movie. Shit.
The Amazing Spider-Man 2, the
No,
best in the
no, Spider Verse.
oh,
Spider Verse. Enter the Spider Verse. So just pull a Mega Man, or a
oh
Shulk,
yeah,
or a Min Min, and have different versions of Spider Man come in a cutscene and kick the character's ass.
that would be pretty badass.
That would be fucking awesome.
What if, for Goku's sake too, you can have various other characters from his series show up in his final smash with like a super spirit bomb or something?
Um,
I know canonically it wouldn't make as much sense as Spider-Man, however.
I mean, I guess they could, but
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
don't know. I feel like with Goku, it's Super Saiyan Goku using a move,
yeah, that's true. That's
and
true.
honestly, none of the other characters compare to Goku. Sure, you could say
That's
Vegeta,
also
but
true.
Vegeta gets his ass kicked every other week.
That's also true.
What? You think it's gonna be
um.
Krillin?
Oh. Oh no. Oh no. Oh
No.
no.
God no. Fuck Krillin.
Clearly, it's gonna be Majin Buu.
That's just Kirby.
Also true. Now we have a Kirby Echo now. Perfect.
Oh no.
It was either that or Batamon. I'm gonna go for Boo.
What about Shadow Kirby?
That too. Yes.
Bandana Waddle Dee
Yeah. Very
as a
very
Kirby
excited
Echo.
for that
No,
character. Of
God,
course.
that would not work. That would not work. No.
That would be devastating for so much of the community. Holy moly.
It would be.
It would be funny because I don't really care about Bandana Waddle either way, but
Yeah, I mean, I get why
what?
people want Bandana Waddle Dee. I get it.
Mhm.
But as for me, I just see a character that pales to others.
Yeah. At the same time, having it be a clone or just a regular Waddle Dee would be absurd if it did make it in.
Yeah, it would not work as a clone.
No, not at all. And then since these are such well-known characters too, I guess that we can talk about potentially other facets of what they could bring outside of movesets, outside of the character.
Yeah.
Like like Goku can bring any number of assist trophies or stages that would make sense. Like what would a stage like Planet Namek or something?
Planet Namek,
Um,
or I'm not sure what the name of it is, but like the island where Master Roshi lives, that can make sense as well.
oh right.
For an assist trophy for Goku.
Uh, Kame House, I guess that's what it's called. I just looked
Oh
it
yeah,
up.
Kami House. Yeah, that's it.
Hmm.
Assist trophies, it would probably be Vegeta or Piccolo, maybe. But I think one of the enemies could be fun, like a Majin Buu, be a pretty cool assist trophy, or maybe not Cell. Trying to think.
Frieza,
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 Frieza. Yeah, everybody.
yeah,
Fuck everything else. It's Frieza. It's fucking Frieza. Of course it is. Of course it
yeah,
is.
yeah,
And then
absolutely.
Vegeta could be an Echo.
That's also true. Yeah,
It would either be him or adult Gohan, but I think Vegeta is the better choice.
I agree. There's just more iconicity behind the choice.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. And then Spider-Man. What would the stage be? Just like an overview of
New York,
Queens?
New York
Yeah,
City. It's just New
there you
York
go.
City. Just,
That would be great to juxtapose against New Donk City.
I mean, if they wanted to not do something that's just like this real world location, which is also kind of the similar problem that any of the Assassin's Creed characters have, they could have it be Avengers Tower
They could.
or
They
Oscorp.
could.
Oscorp is actually a really
Yeah,
good idea.
that is. That is.
Uh,
That would be a good opportunity to bring up like random Spider-Man villains onto the stage as well.
yeah. Assist trophy
Nice.
wise, I would probably also go for a villain like um, Mysterio,
Doc Ock.
Doc Ock, or Green Goblin. Probably Doc Ock. I feel like Doc Ock is the best choice.
Right.
He's
Right.
popular and he has some enough uniqueness to him that you could do something good with him. Green Goblin kind of on that, and Mysterio. Well, I do love me some Mysterio. I don't know how well he'd work in as a Smash Assist trophy besides just like, oh look, it's another Skull Kid. Okay,
Oh Lord, I hate Skull
eh,
Kid's sister
eh,
so much.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Echo
Then
is Miles.
there's
Miles is the Echo naturally.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. There's always the possibility too, where if they didn't stay distinctly Spider-Man, you can pull in any other number of Avengers characters, like, oh, it's the Hulk as an assist trophy, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
Although I do
true,
think
true.
for the sake of Smash though, and keeping it cleaner, I would keep it to Spider-Man universe
Yeah.
explicitly. But
If we did
nevertheless,
get an Avenger as an assist trophy, I would probably say it's either Cap or Iron Man. But pulling off of the MCU popularity, it's got to be one of them. And
oh yeah,
considering his
absolutely,
connection to MCU Spider-Man, I could see them going with Iron Man.
yeah.
I think
You
Captain
know what?
America
That
would
could
be
also
cooler
be
though. I'd rather have
that
it.
could be a final. Like, oh yeah, yeah, me too. I like Captain America more, but that gives me a good idea for a final. What if the final Smasher Spider-Man is just the finale of Endgame, and then it gives Spider-Man a stat boost?
What?
Yeah, Iron Man appears
I mean, I was thinking like if
and
Captain America was the
dies.
character, then his final smash would be Avengers Assemble.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I don't know. It's hard to discuss something without spoilers, so I'm gonna
Yeah, I
back
mean,
off that joke.
Spider-Man technically, I mean, typically is more of a solo. If he's
Hmm.
paired with anybody, it's usually like another Spider Person or Deadpool or Daredevil. I
Oh yeah.
think he's like Iron Man in the movie. I don't know if he's too much with Iron Man in the comics. I think he's been with Wolverine a couple times, but generally speaking, Hulk I think he's been with. But generally speaking, I'm pretty sure he's more of a solo outside of his
Oh yeah,
spider people.
let's put Deadpool in Smash. That's a good idea.
I mean, if he, if Deadpool can pick up the UI and hit characters with it, yes, because that's what he
Yes.
does for one of his specials in MVC3, and I fucking love it. It is so good.
Nice. Oh, buddy. Well, both really iconic characters that we're dealing with here,
Oh yeah,
and I think we've basically exhausted our resources on discussion points.
yeah, we kind of have. It's been a short Smasher Dash, and I think part
It
of that
has.
is because there really isn't a whole lot to discuss with the Savvy Stylist and the F-Type. It's kind of like, here's two wacky ideas.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's kind of the point that we're getting to. And then Goku and Spider-Man have so much more to them as potential fighters right off the cuff. Like but the issue there is that they have such defined iconic moves that the moveset almost writes itself.
Yep, absolutely.
So then it just comes to a point though. With us having reached this apex, nonetheless, I guess we should say which character we're leaning towards here. And in this case, it's very hard. There's really not more so here than most other matchups. I feel like a super right or wrong answer.
Yeah.
It's going to come down to sheer preference.
I mean, that's honestly what it is every time. This Smash
It
Reactions
is.
are not us picking what character we think is best for Smash or what we think would fit in easily. It's who
Right.
do we want?
Right.
Do I want
I guess.
Goku or do I want Spider-Man? It doesn't matter if Goku is
Yep.
more of a popular fan pick. It doesn't matter if Goku is the symbol of fourth parties, essentially. It matters what I want. And
Right.
what I want
Right. Yeah.
is Spider-Man.
Yeah. I guess what I meant more to say was that the characters were more on equal footing than other matchups, at least more naturally speaking.
Ah,
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I was trying to get at. Not nevertheless, Goku very very strong. There's a lot of kids that I grew up with who really worshipped at the foot of Goku and loved Dragon Ball, and the extent of that in my life was minimal by comparison. So my bias for Goku is minimal. I did really enjoy playing Dragon Ball games with my friend Jose back when we were kids, back on the PS1, the Game Boy Advance. Those were good times. But considering that as far as Shonen Jump goes, I grew up more with Yu-Gi-Oh! I grew up more with One Piece, but I grew up with a lot of Spider-Man, so I'm gonna go Spider-Man too.
I mean, well, Spider-Man 2, the movie?
Uh, no, but at least it's better than a couple of the other ones.
Yes,
I'll go with Spider-Man
as
in
well.
Smash.
It was
Yeah,
like I've said before, I don't want fourth parties in Smash. If there was an anime version of Smash with like the same mechanics and just anime characters, hell yeah, bring on Goku. If there's a comic version of Smash, hell yeah, bring on Spider-Man. I don't want either of them in Smash, but if I had to pick, I would rather have Spider-Man. I've watched Dragon Ball, but it wasn't really like my big thing. But I love me some Marvel. Love me some Marvel.
absolutely. What if there was a Smash game that was comics versus manga, and then there was Goku and Spider-Man both in the same game?
Okay.
The rights would be an absolute nightmare, but it would be
Can
awesome.
I get Yugi in the game as well?
Yeah, just make it Shonen Jump versus Marvel. There you go.
Well, what about DC? And what about
Yeah,
non-Shonen? What about
all of
Studio
that.
Ghibli?
You see what I'm saying? It would be a rights nightmare.
Yes, it would be.
A
How?
playable
But let's
Totoro.
be real.
We'll get
How
there.
is Smash not a rights nightmare? It should be
It
by
is.
all rights.
Mm-hmm.
Heh, rights.
It is.
Ah,
It is. It is. I do think that there's more that ties out of just the. For some reason, it seems like there's more of a wall with fourth parties than other parties. I think that there's a lot of different ownership rights that go into distribution of the anime and the manga of Dragon Ball, for instance, in the States compared to Japan and vice versa. So you'd be dealing with more companies than you would a standard video game character. At the same time, you're right. Ultimate is a real mess in terms of the rights, and that's probably the number one thing standing against it getting just a straight sequel or direct port or whatever in with a future Nintendo console
yeah,
is just
absolutely.
all of the third party characters and like how apparently we barely got Cloud back or whatever. So and you see it with the amiibo too. Like we're not getting all four Dragon Ball characters. I wonder if that was kind of a
Dragon
point
Quest.
of okay, it's going to cost a lot more to get the rights for all four of these characters to print or whatever.
Dragon Quest.
Yeah.
You said Dragon Ball.
Oh, I did.
Yes.
Oh, nice. Well, at
Which I
least
mean, to be
Toriyama
fair,
made the art for all.
Akira Toriyama, yeah. Throw some Chrono Trigger in there as well.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Oh boy.
Jesus. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I think we've pretty much wrapped things up there. We picked out the Savvy Stylist. We picked out Spider Man. Sorry, Dragon Ball fans, but hey, you know, if you like Goku. You want him in Smash? Want him in Smash. I don't, but I also don't want Spider Man in Smash. So, I mean, there's that.
If you can have, maybe I should say this for the future fourth party on
No.
topic. I was going to
Ask
be
the
like, if you
question.
can have,
Ask it.
okay, okay. If you can have, if you had to rather
Mm-hmm.
have any fourth party character in Smash, you had to choose a fourth party character out of any fourth party period. Who would it be?
It's tough. It's tough.
It is.
There's a lot of really good fourth party franchises and characters to choose with. Like, I could say Darth Vader. I could say Harry Potter. I could say Spider Man or Goku. I could
Hmm.
say Ronald McDonald.
You could say Guy Fieri.
I
You could
could
say
say
Corey in the
Aang
House.
from Avatar.
That would
I
also
may
be
have
pretty cool.
recently rewatched all of Avatar, but both the
Nice.
last Avatar and Korra. So, oh boy, I have a lot of that going on right now. It's I can't say that there's like a one that I would choose over everyone else, just because there's so many good characters in existence in all kinds of media. But I'll
Yeah,
just say just to pick a name. I think Aang from Last Airbender would be really fun.
he would be. He would be. That's a good
He's
choice.
also now in Smite, so there's that.
Oh yeah, yeah. That he has and Korra and Zuko.
Yeah.
Cool. Um, I'll go with someone that's I feel like people are sleeping on, but would be really cool to have nonetheless. And that's Tom Joad from The Grapes of Wrath.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, this John Steinbeck classic novel about the Great Depression.
No.
Yeah, it was essential reading in middle school, I think.
Not for me, it wasn't.
Well, Tom Joad and his family were forced from their farm in the Oklahoma Dust Bowl. They're forced out of it, and then they moved out to California, just looking for jobs and land and stuff to like a shiny new state because the Depression made their house be foreclosed upon. And it's just a book that's a little bittersweet and sad about those journeys through the Great Depression and the death and famine that came with it.
So not Captain Underpants.
Not Captain Underpants, no. But yeah, I think Tom can bring a certain reality to Smash that's desperately needed.
Uh huh.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. He can plant grapes.
all right then.
Yeah, yeah. As for a real choice, it's too difficult for me to say off the top of my head. I mean, I fantasized about a lot of different characters. I had dreams of like Shrek being playable when I was 8 years old, and I was stupid. But at least I wasn't 25 years old and stupid like a lot of people in our community who think
I
that he
mean,
should be playable.
you've pitched
Um,
Mickey Mouse to me before too.
yeah, well, at least there's icon like Mickey is at least as much of a choice as Spider-Man or Goku. I think anyway.
I mean, that's fair.
That's
That's fair.
yeah, yeah. He had a lot of really good games back in the day too, like Castle of Illusion or I guess Epic Mickey, which was not the greatest, but it seemed to have a big cultural impact at the time for
And
some
the
reason.
first one was fine. The second one was not.
Yeah, absolutely. Or of course, your old pal SpongeBob. Even though I would veer for Chucky Finster myself.
Is that your answer, Chucky Finster?
You know what? I'm gonna go for Chucky.
Dear God. All right. Well, I think that kind of ends the topic for us today.
Yeah, we'll find Boppo in there somewhere. I'll hash the moveset out later. Okay. Yeah, that is the episode. Now it's just a point of
What's next?
telling you what's next. I'm
It's the
pretty.
on topic. It's our anniversary on topic.
Hmm.
What are we
Hmm.
discussing?
We are going to look back on basically our friendship and the majority of that podcast. I'm assuming at the very least, being a look back on Super Smash Bros. Mercurius, the fan site that we've alluded to multiple times, that we met on, essentially virtually, of course, but nonetheless, where we hatched our friendship, where we hatched our friendships with other people that have been on our show, like Eric or Jake, that Trevor has
Trevor.
also been a part of,
Yeah.
that we know Kelly as a result of, like the osmosis of the growth of these other friendships through Mercurius, that started at Mercurius rather. So we're looking back on our time at Mercurius, and we're looking back at our time shared in this internet space, I guess in general, as it rooted itself from Mercurius. So it'll be an interesting time. You get to look back into the mind of, what was I at the time? I think 14 years old when
Something
I
like
first
that for
joined.
you.
So yeah, hey, it's gonna be an interesting one. I'm gonna have to make some notes about that so that we can make it a very special episode. It's gonna be our final on topic for the first year of cycles. This being our ninth and final cycle for the first year of Super Cash Brothers. So the on topic is going to be a little special in that way, and the Smashtopia and the Smasher Dash are going to be a little bit special too. And I guess we'll just get to those when we get to them.
Should be fun.
Yeah, yeah, it's going to be a jolly old time.
Well then, I'll see you then.
Okay, I will see you then, and I think that Chucky will too.